this whole thing is just a slippery slope in itself. With just like you believe, like it's just based on him believing them and not like you don't know. You can never know if all the information is out there. It's like these players, the Astros weren't touched at all either. So it's the players themselves, and now how do we know they're not going to be cheating again because they didn't get it punished themselves? They can just go out to this season and still do something else, maybe change it up, cheat again, cheat it some other way. Or like, how are we gonna know? Yeah, I'm really ticked off at Rob Manfred. Like, seriously, like what the fuck? I don't even know what the hell he's thinking right now. After this, I don't know if you listened to any of his speech from earlier.
I didn't actually,
but I tried to listen to some of it, and then I was just like gritting my teeth the whole time. I couldn't even hear. Like I was like, I wanted to punch my computer. I was so mad. The one thing that really was like frustrating, what he said was, I didn't even watch the part that he said it. Like I just saw someone on Twitter like tweet it out. It was like he called the World Series trophy. He was like, it's just a piece of metal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Like when somebody asked why they didn't take it away from them. It's like, so you're calling something that these players work their asses off for 162 games and longer for the playoffs. You're calling it just a piece of metal. It doesn't mean shit to anybody now. So that's like, okay, you just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like it really pisses me off. I can't even like begin to explain how much like Manfred is just so incompetent about everything. Like
that's fucked up.
When the punishment first came out, I was like, I actually thought at the time that it was enough, but now, after hearing all this shit, and then the Astros saying sorry, quote unquote, and not really meaning it, now I'm like, okay, this is definitely not enough. And the way everybody's acting, especially like, what's his name, Jim Crane, when he said like it didn't affect the game, and then he turned around and said, "Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say it didn't affect the game." Like he said, it was like a matter of like a minute that he said it, or it was like 30 seconds he said it.
Yeah.
And then
I saw that. Dude, it's like, Manfred's he's fucking killing me, man. That he's worse than Selig.
Yeah,
worse than Selig. At least Selig looked the other way when players themselves were doing shit, and he sat on his hands as far as testing went. And of course, the players' union wasn't going to push the testing, so they don't give a shit because their players are hitting 70 bombs and fucking getting paid for it. The players' union wasn't, so it's not like the players' union was exonerated then either. Everyone was involved in the whole steroid shit. They didn't give a shit. None of them gave a shit because they had to save baseball after the strike. They had to save baseball. Your Ripken breaking Gehrig's record with the consecutive games ushered that in, and then a couple years later, you have McGuire Sosa with the chase. I was 25 years old when that happened. Mm-hmm. I was watching every fucking night when I was home. I was watching ESPN, waiting to see if McGuire and Sosa fucking hit number 55, number 56, number 50. Dude, I was glued. I was glued.
Yeah.
And this is 1990. Don't forget, this is 1998.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Twitter, Facebook, none of this. There were no smartphones, really. Like, none of that stuff. So you watched ESPN. You waited for those updates. You waited to like cut in to like McGuire, and that was when ESPN was great because ESPN was carrying MLB at the time exclusively. It was before MLB Network, so you were watching ESPN. Whatever game they had on, it could have been a basketball game, whatever game they had on. If McGuire or Sosa, once they got close to 60, like 54, 55, they would cut into their at-bat and show their whole at-bat. So it was like, oh, shit, McGuire's up, and people were glued to it, man. It was awesome. And everyone was compliant with it. Everyone was fine with it. And I really can't blame them for being that way, to be honest with you.
And now ESPN barely even shows baseball at all, and it's like the only time they actually talk about baseball is because of this whole scandal. Like they literally before that was nothing. Like maybe 5 seconds of baseball.
What's Manfred's plan?
Yeah.
Is to get baseball back on the map. But you're doing it this is the wrong way to do it.
He's getting on back on the map, but doing it by being an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, he's a douche. He's a complete douchebag. He doesn't care anything about the game. Obviously, with the comment, like you said, I was a piece of metal. Really? So then why don't you take it away from him? If it's not that big of a deal.
Well, he was trying to like explain it like, well, we're almost gonna make we're gonna make the fans choose their own way to how to react to it. We're gonna choose that but a lot of fans now are coming out saying that they should take it away. We are like a lot of fans agree that they should take it away now. And
see,
so,
I disagree with that.
I
still disagree with that. I mean, I don't think. Look, and I'm a traditionalist to a point, but I also understand baseball now. I still disagree with asterisks and shit like that. Baseball has never been about that. And they shouldn't be about that. It happens. If you discover it later on that there was something wrong with it, that's fine. And baseball fans will make their own judgment. I believe in the passing on of the history. And because that's how it's been. And I'm not saying it's just how it's been, but I think that's how it should be with baseball. I think that's something that baseball needs to hold on to, is the passing on of history from generation to generation, because that's what's kept it strong all across. Because obviously the game itself, obviously Manfred thinks the game itself is a problem because of the change of pace of play, roster sizes, blah, 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 blah. Everything he's trying to change in the game, the rules. Obviously, there's a problem with the game. He thinks so, if he's trying to change all this stuff. But the problem isn't with the fans. The problem isn't with the passing on of opinions and the passing on of judgment that the fans have. 20, 30, 40 years from now, you'll have kids, grandkids maybe, and you're going to tell them, they're going to ask, maybe one of your kids, grandkids are going to be into baseball, and you're going to talk about the 2017 Astros. You're going to be like, well, they cheated. They were found guilty in MLB. What's the legacy of Bonds and Clemens and A-Rod and McGuire and Sosa and Palmeiro and all these guys? How come Bonds and Clemens, how come they're not in the Hall of Fame? They were never found guilty, never tested positive for steroids. Mm-hmm. What's their legacy? There are still people out there that still consider Hank Aaron the all-time home run leader. Yeah. It's still there. How many years later? I mean, Bonds broke the home run record in 2001. It's just about 20 years later, and people still say,
yeah,
it's not an asterisk there. They still say that he's not the all-time home run leader, and he doesn't have a plaque in Cooperstown. That's why I don't agree with taking the title away from the Astros. I think it's too much, and I think it's a bad precedent to set. I don't like the slippery slope thing where then you run into NCAA stuff. Like they vacate titles, they take Heisman trophies away, they do all this stuff. I think it's a bad precedent to set for baseball.
I
understand this is extreme. Yeah. What the Astros did, it is extreme. But who's to say that they don't have the authority to do something else?
Mm-hmm.
With something less extreme.
Right. I mean,
I just don't want to set that precedent.
I'm not I'm kind of like on the fence about it. Like I'm not gonna go one way or the other, but like I definitely think, like, I understand the whole immunity thing. Like, he gave them immunity, so that, like, you can't touch them. But I think that whole thing is just bullshit. So then today, I think he said something like, so I gave them immunity so that they would speak truthfully about 2017 and whatever. They said they agreed. They spoke truthfully that they said that they cheated in 2017 and whatever. And then he said, somebody asked the questions like, did he look into 2019? Did you see about why Altuve said not to take off his jersey? And then he said, no, I didn't look into that at all because I wouldn't think they would lie about it. So they said there was no, like, whatever buzzers. I wouldn't think they would lie about it. So I believe them. It's like, how do you know that? Like, you can't know that they're telling the truth just because you give them immunity. Doesn't mean shit. So it's like, this whole thing is just a slippery slope in itself. Well, just like you believe, it's just based on him believing them and not like you don't know. You can never know if all the information is out there. It's like these players, the Astros weren't touched at all either. So it's the players themselves, and now how do we know they're not going to be cheating again because they didn't get it punished themselves? They can just go out to this season and still do something else, maybe change it up, cheat again, cheat it some other way. Or like, how are we gonna know?
Yeah, and honestly, I was looking at the punishment, and I originally, like you said, like I originally thought it was fine, but looking back on it, I mean, they punished the Braves even more.
Yeah.
For their tampering and the whole. I mean, yes, it's extortion and shit like that. So I mean, yeah, I guess it was pretty bad what Atlanta did. I mean, they got rid of their international signings. You know, Kevin Maitan, I know, was like a major prospect that they get rid of him. You know, the Angels wound up getting him and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I mean, there were other things, and people were pissed off, and so was I. Obviously, because the CBA agreement is they can only be punished $5 million, which is a drop in a bucket for Jim Crane and these guys. Like that's the fucking nuts. It's nothing. It's chump change. You know, that's like $5 to me and you.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have taken away more draft picks. They could have taken away international money. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Punishing the players, the immunity thing. I get it on both sides. Like, I understand why Manfred did it. The grievances and things that would have been in place from the MLBPA would have been insane. And this investigation would have taken a lot longer. And maybe it should have taken a lot longer. But I get it to a point. That you want to end this, you want to finish this up before the season starts. I understand that, but you also have to be thorough. So there's a fine line there between what Manfred did, giving them immunity so they can speak freely and not have to worry about these grievances and lawyers and stuff like that, because that would have taken it into the season.
Yeah,
this stuff it wouldn't have been resolved. Even now, it wouldn't have been resolved yet. So I get that. The context of it and the bad part of giving them immunity is that they don't get any punishment. Yeah. But like I said, just as people believe Barry Bonds took steroids after 1998, well, he was a Hall of Famer before that. Is he in the Hall of Fame yet? No. Yeah. Wait till Beltran comes up in 3 years.
That's going to be...
What kind of reception do you think he's going to get from the BBWAA? You know, who vote him in?
I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't want him in. Because even like a lot of writers now, a lot of writers are actually like coming out and tweeting shit about it, like saying that they're against all this shit.
Yeah, and not only that too, Beltran's like a borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's a shoo-in like Bonds and Clemens. And look, Bonds and Clemens were, I mean, Bonds is arguably the greatest player that ever played.
Yeah. And
he's not in yet. Yeah, we don't know when he did steroid. We don't know when he started doing steroid. People say 98, 98. That's when the Balco stuff started. So who knows? You know, whatever. But then even years from now,
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Altuve comes up or Bregman, this is going to haunt. This is going to haunt them.
And
so, I don't know. So the immunity for the players to me is fine because of the context of it. I don't 100% agree with it, but I see the point. Like, I see why he did it and everything, and I get it.
mm-hmm.
It's just, it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I have to stomach it, but at least a bad taste in my mouth, you know? Like, I just don't like it. But it had to be done, you know?
And then another part of the interview that I heard or whatever saw, like a tweet, it was that what was it? I can't think of it. Like my brain is just so like boiled right now of all this shit. I can't even put it all together. But like, the hell was it now? Hang on. Fuck. Now I just lost it. Yeah.
Those situations just so bad. Like I just tweeted out to
I just remembered. Sorry.
Okay, got it.
So he said, like, when I was like answering a question about why he didn't go on the player, like why the punishment wasn't more. He was like, so these players. He was something like this. It was like, so these players are gonna, face the questions for the rest of their life. Like they're gonna be, a lot of people are gonna be questioning it, and then they're gonna have to face that the rest of their life. And like, so a lot of people ended up coming after that, saying that like, oh, so if I rob a bank, does that mean like I'll have to face having the money for the rest of my life? Like what is that gonna do? If you have to just face the punishment of like all these people just being against you, that's all it is. Like there's no extra punishment. It's like what kind of, why would you say something like that? It's like, let's see. I'm actually gonna try to pull up the exact like video of it. See if I.
But yeah, ridiculous. I mean, but if he granted the players immunity,
yeah,
did I mean, if he didn't think if he didn't grant the players immunity, they would have lawyered up. They would have gotten an MLBPA rep, and all this would have been going on and on and on.
Yeah.
I tweeted out because Casey Bubba, Bubba, the fantasy baseball guy, he tweeted something out, and I answered him. He said something about the Astros. He answered something about Manfred and the Astros. I said, if you put thought, just paraphrasing my tweet because I can't remember exactly what I tweeted out, but paraphrasing that, if you put thought into your action beforehand, you don't have to worry about this. But once you have a bad situation of your own doing,
right,
the more you talk about it, it just digs the hole deeper in general. You just dig in your own hole even deeper. So, like, I don't understand, like, Carlos Correa, of all people, like, Carlos Correa is going on and on. He goes back against Bellinger, goes back against Kurt Suzuki, goes back. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, wait, like, you're just making it worse. Like, just stop. Stop talking at this point. Like, you said what you had to say. Like, you went up there. Well, I don't know if Correa did, but I mean, Jim Crane and Altuve and Bregman. These guys read off a fucking
script. Yeah.
Half-assed, apology that they didn't mean. It was written for them by the PR director of the Houston Astros. Like, you went up there, you apologized. It's fine. Just leave. Just stop. Just stop now. That's it. It's over. Like, there's got to be a point where someone's gonna be like, all right, it's done. Stop it.
Yeah.
But no.
And then
Correa's got to. Sorry, you're gonna have to listen to your brothers in arms here, Bellinger and Suzuki and all these guys. You're all gonna come out and say stuff about it. Just take it. Just take it.
And some shit about Altuve had like a weird ass tattoo or something, unfinished tattoo. Like, what the hell? Why you you're making it worse? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like, why you even bother bringing it up? What's the point? Just stop.
Like,
I mean, I love Bellinger's quote. I mean, Bellinger was right. You know, maybe Altuve took away the MVP from Judge.
yeah.
Personally, I think Judge should have won it anyway.
Yeah,
But that's my personal opinion. But anyway, you know, I mean, I'm objective that way. I think Judge should have won the 2017 NBA and MVP. But I also agree that Ohtani won the Rookie of the Year over Sanchez. But that's me. Anyway.
You mean Andujar, right?
Was it Andujar?
Yeah. Sanchez was 26. He was a rookie in 2016. But I don't personally. I don't really give a shit about just personal awards anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's personal.
I guess in the long run, it kind of does matter to like Hall of Fame. Really, the numbers are really what matters to Hall of Fame anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but I understand Bellinger's point. I mean, because if he would have gotten, I was kind of happy that he brought that up. You know, because he's defending a fellow player, and he thought that Judge probably should, probably in his heart, he thought Judge should have won it. Yeah. And now seeing Altuve with the cheating thing, he's like, "What the hell?" You know. I'm glad he called that out. I was happy about that. Not just the World Series, because that shows a lot from Bellinger, because he was on the Dodgers and he lost the World Series to the Astros, so he didn't just concentrate on talking about the Astros beating them in the World Series. He brought up, Judge and Altuve during the season. So I thought that showed a lot of forethought on his part, talking about, my guy over here, Aaron Judge, should have won the MVP, and Altuve took it from him because he was cheating all year. I respect Bellinger for that, because he was thinking about his players. Like, he was thinking about everybody, not just him, not just his team, but everyone in the league. Talking about Judge, I thought that was I give him a lot of respect for that, because not a lot of guys would have said something like that. They would have talked about, "Oh, my team, we lost the World Series because of it." But he actually brought that up, and I like I said, I give him a lot of props for that, man.
Yeah, there's been a lot of players speaking up about it too. Like, not just that, but like the whole situation. Like, a lot. Well, especially Trevor Bauer. He's been the main guy to speak out about it on Twitter and shit.
I love Bauer.
Yeah, I love him too.
Bauer's awesome. Calling out Manfred and everything, dude. He don't care. He don't give a shit, dude.
The only problem is no one's gonna fucking listen to him anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are starting to listen to him.
I mean, just people that don't matter though. Like, not like the only person that really matters is Manfred. He's not gonna do shit anyway.
Yeah, Manfred's just
he's
too much. You know what? Manfred's too much like the owners, the business.
But what?
I mean, Manfred's a lawyer. That's where he came from. He's a lawyer. He's too much about that.
The one I'm curious
Selig,
about,
at least with Selig, he owned the Milwaukee Brewers, and he was a baseball fan. Granted, he had his mistakes too, but at least he was a baseball guy.
Mm-hmm.
Manfred's not. Manfred's a lawyer. That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't care just as much as Jeffrey Loria with the Miami Marlins when he sold him to Jeter and his crew. He doesn't give a shit about baseball. It's an investment. That's it. And I could talk about the Twins the same way. The Pollards.
Mm-hmm.
They've run that team the same way all these years. Finally, they're spending a little money. But, I mean, they've been that way. There are other organizations the same thing. We can look at all these organizations like that. With the exception of the few that actually, throw money at people. But even the Yankees have gotten away from that.
Yeah.
The evil empire. Steinbrenner's, aren't throwing money at people. Yeah, they pay Garrett Cole. But, I mean, everyone's getting all the owners are getting a little more tight with their money and everything. the game's changing.
Yeah.
And then these GMs without a lot of money to work with because they had to stay under the luxury tax, blah, blah, blah. They got to trade people. Look at Mookie Betts getting traded. Face of a franchise. I would have loved to see in the next 10 years. Who knows what's going to happen, but I said it a couple of years ago. I would love to see Yankees Red Sox get reignited. Judge and Betts. They both play the same position. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, man, it was great. A-Rod getting into fights with Jason Varitek. Like, I mean, even when one team wasn't even good or one team was, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
It was just that rivalry.
Now it's like different. It's not even the same. Like when one team isn't as good, they're like it's not even sparked as high. Like I don't know why, but just it's like not the same anymore. Like the rivalry, something's different.
It's lost something, and that's bad for baseball.
Yeah.
When that rivalry goes down, that's bad for baseball.
What rivalry?
Same thing with the Dodgers and Giants.
Yeah.
What do they have anymore?
What even is like the best rivalry right now? Like, would it be like Cubs Cardinals or what?
Cardinals got to be the best rivalry. Because at least they're close. At least they're close in talent.
Yeah.
At least they fight for a division.
Well, I guess now this year it's going to be Astros against everybody. That's going to be the rivalry.
Yeah. Common enemy.
Getting hit every game.
Football with the Patriots. Everyone's going to look at the Astros like the Patriots cheating.
That used
like everyone's going to be looking at it like that.
The Patriots in baseball used to be the Yankees, but now it's because of their championships. But now it's not really anymore. Well, kind of, but now it's like more of the Astros just because of the whole cheating.
Oh, cheating. Yeah, the thing with the Patriots, though, and I don't think the Astros are going to be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the Patriots, though, is like Belichick and Brady, they didn't care.
No.
Whatever. Fine us, punish us, whatever. We'll just turn around and beat your ass anyway.
Yeah.
And they just went out there and won Super Bowls either way.
Mm-hmm.
Say they cheated, say they did this, whatever. That's a whole different story. But I honestly, like I keep saying, I think the Astros, they're going to have problems this year.
I think so too. I don't know, but part of me is scared that they're going to end up playing good and then proving everyone wrong at the same time.
Well, they could go that way too. They could have that chip on their shoulder and be like, you know what? Fuck you all. Kind of like the Patriots.
Yeah.
You want to call us cheaters? Well, too bad. We'll still beat you.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though. I don't think. You know what? I don't think they have. I don't think their personalities fit that. To be honest with you, I think Brady, Belichick, and especially Belichick, because he's got control of that team. He's built that culture there. See, there's no culture in Houston. Like as far as like a win, because they have a new manager now. New GM.
It's probably gonna be
Baker was a hire for them. I think he was a very good hire for them because he's old school and he's very matter of fact. And this is how we're going to handle this. So I think if they take his direction, I think they'll be okay this year. I just don't think. I think they're a bunch of hotheads.
Yeah.
Correa can't shut his mouth. Altuve and Bregman are smug as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't care.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're going to be able to handle it.
No.
I just don't.
I don't know if you read my second base rankings. I had Altuve third, but honestly, I'm saying right now that's kind of being that's actually going to be high for when the season gets underway. I think I don't think Altuve is going to play good at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What I was doing, I was thinking even put him down lower, down to 5, but I was like, I'll stick at 3. Maybe he'll still play good, but who knows?
Yeah, I saw you did a prediction for the second base guys, like I did.
Yeah, I did. I kind of followed what you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually moved Starlin Castro up a little bit. because you had him at like 30.
Oh,
But prediction was like crazy. And I was like, well, I should move him up a little bit. So I think I'm moving to like 25 or something like that.
I'm at like 28, but I was thinking about moving up, but I was like, I don't know where to put him, like who to jump to put him up there. But
I moved him up a couple spots.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything crazy.
yeah, because I'm thinking, he passed like last
team and shit, and so who knows?
Because last year he actually had a pretty good year last year for the Marlins.
He's actually a solid player, man. He's not like, he hasn't bad.
No.
He's actually a solid player. He's playing for a contract, I believe, this year. I think this is last year of his contract. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's pretty much got the second baseman job in Washington.
Yeah.
I might not see anyone taking that. I don't.
Who else? Yeah. Who else do they even have now? I forget.
Well,
it's like
they signed Zimmerman for one more year, so he'll play first. I think they have Matt Adams still.
Yeah.
So platoon, whatever. As far as third base goes, I'm not sure.
They don't. I think third base is kind of empty right now. I don't even know who
I think they're bringing up. I think they're going to see what they have with the kid Carter Kaboom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I don't know if they have like a veteran there that could like fill in. Yeah. I mean, obviously Trey Turner will be at short.
Yeah.
They'll have Robles, Soto, and Eden in the outfield. So that's set. They have Suzuki and Gomes again beyond the plate. I mean, third base is basically their question mark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they should still be good.
Yeah, they'll be good. Yeah.
And they still have Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin. It's not like they could, it's not like they only lost Rondon.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that's like
fairly the same.
The only thing that's tough for them is the division. Like the division is so up in the air that's why they might miss the playoffs. It's because of the division.
Yeah, I think World Series hangover always happens. I don't care if people say it's a real thing or not, but it seems like it is. And I just don't think. I think the Phillies are going to be a lot better this year. They got Wheeler. I think Hoskins is going to turn it around. And I think Harper will have a better year. They still have Real Muto. I think they're going to have a better year this year. I think Nola really turns into an ace. I think Arrieta on a contract year steps up a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to be a 2-point-something ERA guy, but he'll step up as a third guy.
Yeah.
If they can figure out the back end of their rotation, I think they'll be fine. Yeah. And I really see the Phillies possibly winning that division.
I can honestly see like 3 teams in that division making the playoffs. Like both wild cards, not even. Well, the NL Central's good too, though. So I guess that's another thing.
It's tough in the NL, man.
Cubs and Cardinals really didn't do much. So we'll see.
And the Reds did a lot.
Yeah.
And in the West, I mean, you have the Dodgers, the class of the NL, but I mean, the Diamondbacks are solid. The Diamondbacks are going to fight for a wild card.
Yeah.
So you got the Dodgers probably winning the NL West. Yeah. I mean, they're arguably the best team in the major leagues. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, Yankees and Dodgers are 1, 2. Like in any order, I don't know. I'm not going to be biased and say Yankees are 1. I don't like in any order. It's Yankees, Dodgers anyway. Though.
Yeah, it's close between the two of them.
Yeah,
in the NL, they're definitely the class of the NL. Yeah. I mean, and after that, Diamondbacks in the West. You have the Reds, Cubs, Cardinals, even the Brewers possibly, but I don't see I think the Brewers took a major step back. They had their window, and they didn't seize it. I think they took a major step back this year, especially losing Grandal, and they have no starting pitching whatsoever. No. Woodruff is their ace. I mean, I just can't see it.
Yeah.
And then you have the East, 4 teams, aside from the Marlins. All 4 of them could make it.
Forgot about the Pirates. They're going to win the division.
Oh, the Pirates, that's right. Forgot about them.
They're going to the World Series.
Pirates, Tigers, that's right. Manfred comes out and just bans the Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros because he finds them all to be cheating. So he bans them from the AL as far as the playoffs go this year.
Yeah.
So it's the A's, Twins, and Rays. And then the Red Sox and Tigers make the wild card.
Oh.
And the Tigers go on a tear. And they win World Series.
That would be fucking weird.
I was reading Tom's, because he submitted it.
Oh.
I was reading Tom's article about the Tigers this year. Yeah, they don't have anybody, man.
I couldn't even one guy they have the other day, like besides like Cabrera. Like they have
wow.
Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, Scope and Cron at first. Jacoby Jones. Who was the other guy? They had another outfield. But they signed Devon Nova, Matt Boyd. They have Matt Boyd, Daniel Norris.
One of them is going to be a Cy Young.
Matt Boyd, Cy Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, without doubt. Oh, definitely.
Those,
Put my money on that. I want to see the biggest odds on that.
Those three are the top three Cy Young candidates.
Oh, he's definitely got to be up there. But yeah, he actually predicted them for 70 wins, which I can say.
What did they have last year? I forget.
47.
Oh, 47. I thought they had 60 something. Oh my god.
47 and 114. They didn't even play one of the games. It didn't matter. It got rained out, never got rescheduled. It happens sometimes. But yeah, 47. But he brought up a good point. And one of his points was 2003 to 2004. In 2003, the Tigers lost. That was the year they lost the 119 games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they were 43 and 119. Mm-hmm. And the following year, they won like 72 games.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. So, because they brought in veterans. If you read, when I published the article, you read it, like I was like, yeah, I can see, I could see it. Oh, Jordan Zimmerman's another one that they had on his staff. But I mean, after 2003, they brought in Pudge, Rodriguez. I forget who else he said they brought in. But he brought up a good point. I mean, comparing the two teams, bringing in some veteran leadership like Nova and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the division is dominant.
No.
Especially if the Indians trade Lindor and Clevenger outside the division.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Royals, who stink. The White Sox, maybe 500.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see 70 wins from the Tigers. I'm not going to argue it. Might not be totally off.
Yeah.
90 wins, though?
Oh, yeah. It's way off because they're going to be way ahead of that.
Playoffs, baby.
162 wins.
I'm telling you, the Tigers are going to – I don't even know who they open up against. They're going to start off like sweeping the series and going 3-0. We're going to go nuts. We're going to be like, Tigers!
Yeah. Back to the Astros thing, though. Like, another thing that pisses me off. So none of the players are like suspended or anything. Like obviously the immunity, but still. Then now Manfred comes out and says that if any players go and try to hit them and retaliate, those players are going to be fined and suspended and shit. Like even worse than what it would be regularly. Like if you hit somebody, it's like now you're trying to protect these players. Like they're the ones who have cheated and shit. Now you're gonna go and like punish the players that are trying to are really frustrated and upset. And it's like, what are they like just because they hit them. Like not, it's not like they're gonna hit them in the head. They're gonna hit them in the back, like just or throw behind them. They're not gonna hit them like in the freaking skull. So it's like, what the hell? What do you want them to do at this point? Just stand there and like smile. Oh, the Astros cheated. Yay. They got away with it.
Yeah, well, I can understand. I mean, he's got to come out and say something about that. You know, nip it in the bud, so to speak. You know, because you can't have players throwing at other people. You just can't. I don't care if they cheated or not. You just can't start throwing at people. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that completely because it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and as much as anyone wants to say Altuve and Bregman and Correa get plumped, that's fine. But you're not standing in the batter's box. And granted, if it's a pitcher's intent to hit them in the hip, in the ass, in the ribs, whatever, it's still dangerous. Because what if it slips? What if you miss your spot? Not every pitch you have complete command over. You know, you want to throw a strike, doesn't mean it goes down the middle of the plate. So if you're trying to hit someone in the ribs and you miss and it goes up by their head, you don't know that. It's going to be hard to tell the intent and everything too. He had to say what he had to say. So I don't disagree with it. It's what's got to be done. I mean, you know, it is what it is. And Dusty Baker mentioned it. So Manfred obviously has to reply, you know, and say that, yes, we're going to levy punishments and stuff. So, but this is the whole bigger problem. The bigger problem with this is the fact that this has to be done. The Astros cheated.
Yeah.
The fact that they cheated and it got found out and it was investigated and they got punished, and now other players are speaking out against them. And Dusty Baker came out, and then Manfred had to issue a response. Like this is the problem. It's an issue, you know, and it's going to continue being an issue. I wonder how much of an issue it's going to be when the players go against the ownership in 2021 when the CBA is up. I wonder how much divide. And this may be Manfred's thinking. I wonder how much divide the players are going to have amongst themselves.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a lot at this point.
Right. And maybe this is what Manfred wants. Maybe he's that underhanded. Maybe this is the lawyer in him, is that he's looking ahead of this and sitting there and saying, well, I got a CBA to negotiate in a year and a half. Let's break up the players. Let's have them hate each other. Now, just as we said, how are the Astros going to handle everyone bashing trash cans and doing stuff and like them on the road this year? Like they're going to be suffering all year as far as hitters. Let's see how the players as a union go against Manfred in 2021. Can they put it aside? Like we're saying, the Astros, we don't think they can do that. But can the players in 2021, the players as a union, can they put it aside and have a common enemy? And despite the cheating and despite the dissension, can they possibly get together and push for more for what they want?
Yeah, that's
as a unified group. We'll see. But don't think Manfred's not thinking that. That this is going to divide them. That's what all the more reason why Manfred is a douchebag
Yeah, he's just. I don't know why. Like, it seems like he's just trying to screw the game up, like, in any way he can.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh yeah.
He doesn't care about the game.
By
He
the way,
doesn't care about it.
the Tigers play the Indians first game. I mean, the first series.
Oh, nice. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
Go Tigers.
It's in Cleveland, but
Hey,
but
you never know.
yeah.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
By the way, I don't think the Indians are going to do much this year.
No.
But
I think you guys are honestly gonna take the division easily.
I think so too. I don't see it being a problem. But the Indians with health and some luck, I mean, you never know.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
their pitching is good. So
well, they still have, they still got Clevenger, still got Bieber, it's like Carrasco coming back. It's not like they don't have good pitching.
Wait.
The bullpen's nice too. The Klinchak is nice.
yeah.
And they have another guy, Clace, Emmanuel Clace, that they picked up from Texas, who's nice. And Brad Hand, of course, in the back of the bullpen. So, yeah, the pitching is sweet. But the lineup doesn't scare anybody.
No.
Except for Lindor, Ramirez, and Santana. I mean, other than that, I don't know. Cesar Hernandez, they signed to play second base, and Oscar Mercado in the outfield. But I don't know. They just don't have. I don't know. I don't think that lineup scares anybody.
Yeah, that's what's it? Yeah, Cesar Hernandez. He's not anything special either, for sure.
No.
I think I had him like 20s. What was it? I don't even remember. 25th.
Yeah, 20 something. Yeah. Yeah, he's not. He is what he is. I mean,
I said in the thing, I was like, maybe bank on him having a good season because he's on a new team, new situation. But I was like, no, don't expect it. Don't bank on that at all.
it always scares me. Players going to switch leagues. I even said that in the catchers one about Yasmani Grandal, even though I put Grandal second. I even said that about him.
Yeah.
Just going from the National League, where he's been his whole career, to the American League. And he's got to learn a whole new staff as far as catching goes. He's got to learn a whole new staff. And he also has to learn a whole new bunch of pitchers that he's never faced before. Or maybe he faced a couple times in interleague play. But, I mean, in general, you're facing all new pitchers. So I mentioned it about Grandal. I could see him going like a month or so, start off slow.
Yeah.
I was the same thing with Cesar Hernandez. In the National League with the Phillies his whole career. Goes to a new league. There's a learning curve. So,
yeah.
Same thing with a lot of these guys. And these are the things that numbers don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole changing of leagues, the changing of lineups. How do you get along? A lot of not predictive. How do you get along with your teammates? Is it a comfortable atmosphere? Is it hard to acclimate yourself? But you don't know until you get there.
Yeah. That's why a lot of times like these projections are so hard. Like it's like you can't know until it happens. Like until the season starts.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing too. You don't know. I don't know. I was going to say something else. I totally lost train of thought.
I just there was this one girl that did this video like Astros songs it's like covers of these songs but in like Astros style. It was funny. I loved it. I was gonna play it.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, Astro Judges MVP. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, can't hit none in the MLB. Bang, bang on the trash can, you know we did it. When I play fair, I lose my mind. I'ma steal signs. Hit that walk off, it's a crime. My chest is all wired, wired, wired. My jersey got wires. Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. We'll never get elected. We should have been suspended. Why you letting us play? Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. We acted kind of shady. Said sorry like big babies, and we don't feel ashamed. We are the cheaters, my friend. Dun, dun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nice.
And I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that the cheating is worse than what anyone else has done. Worse than Pete Rose.
I agree.
It's not individual.
No.
It's team. It's a team thing. No one said anything. And even Verlander came out. And who's the other guy? Oh, it was someone else that came out. It was Verlander. I think might have been Marisnik because the Mets now. Might have been Marisnik who was there at the time and said that, should have said something, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, so it was obviously known throughout the team, even people who weren't using it. And that's Correa brought up the fact that Altuve would come into the dugout and be like, stop doing that. Like, whatever. Bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Stop it. This is the thing. Like I said before, man, just stop talking, dude. Just stop.
And then like the other thing too is like he's coming out and saying all this shit. Like, you need to shut the fuck up, and like if you don't know the facts, and then like we didn't do shit in 2019. Well, who's to say you didn't? Because you can't. We're not going to believe you because you're lying about the other shit. Like,
yeah,
you did in 2017. So who's to believe you didn't do it after that? Like, why would you stop? It worked. So why would you stop? Doesn't make sense. You don't just stop till you get it. Like after it works, you don't just like oh it worked. Once is enough. We're just gonna go and play fair now. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Same thing with the steroid guys. Oh well, even like I'm sorry, but even someone like Andy Pettitte, well, he only used it once for a couple months and everything. Do you believe him? I mean, like how do you believe someone who cheated?
Yeah.
Yes, if they come in clean and saying it, someone like Andy Pettitte, like, I get it. Like, you want to believe the guy, you want to say yes. Same thing with Giambi, who came clean and everything. But do you believe they only used it once? Do you really do? Like, do you really believe that it was just a one-time thing? I mean, it's hard to believe at that point. Even if Bonds or McGuire came out and said he used steroids, but even if like Bonds or Clemens said, yeah, I used it, used it cream for like 1 year or whatever, would you believe him? Would you? No. I wouldn't. So it's like the same thing you're saying about Correa. It's like, well, you cheated and you got caught. And then you're saying, well, it wasn't 2019, it was 2017. Well, who's going to believe you? That's the whole thing. Like, once you're proven to be a liar and a cheat, nothing else you say is going to be believed. This is why I keep saying, just shut up.
Yeah.
Stop talking, because no one's going to believe you anyway. Like, just stop. Just drop it. Get to spring training and start playing baseball. because nothing you say is going to help your cause. You're not going to convince anyone. It's not like Correa is going to come on Twitter and convince anyone that he wasn't cheating or someone on his team wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Or wasn't cheating in 2018 or 19 or whatever it was. Like, you just keep talking and it just doesn't go anywhere. You just stop.
No.
It's ridiculous already.
What was I gonna say? I was thinking of something else now too. God. Oh, like the one thing that gets me about the like some of the Astros fans. Not I'm saying all of them, but like there's a lot of them that like all these people, all these fans bashing them, and they're saying, and then they come back at Yankees fans saying, "Oh, what about steroids? All these guys were on steroids all these years." Like, and they go and bring up, Pettit, A-Rod, all this shit, and then how about you put an asterisk next to 2009? But like even that 2000, like it wasn't proven that A-Rod was on steroids at the time either. Like in 2009, he wasn't proven that he took him during that season. And then Andy Pettit, like it wasn't proven for that season. He definitely, I don't think he was on steroids. I mean, maybe he was, but it never came up. And then they also said Cano, but Cano was after he was on the Yankees, even that he was like they came out that he was on steroids. He was on the Mariners. So, like, why are you bringing that up? Like all the like Astros fans are trying to like what's the word? Like they're just trying to.
Yeah, trying to make that analogy.
Trying to make a new like they're trying to bring up shit that like has no like it's not even the same thing. This is a whole team wide thing, a team centered cheating.
Well, yeah,
thing like
it's a whole childish argument. I mean, I have 3 kids, so it's almost like one kid gets caught doing something. Instead of accepting the blame and being like, well, yeah, I did this, I'm sorry. They point at the other kid and they're like, well, he did this or she did this.
Yeah.
Trying to deflect the blame and saying, well, she did this. It's the same thing Astros fans are doing. They're like, well, we cheated. Yeah, but you had steroid guys on your team. Like, so what? It's not the argument. That has nothing to do with what you did. And not only that, the cheating that the Astros did is worse than the steroid use, because the steroid users it was a personal choice. It wasn't team wide, league wide. Well, yeah, it was in a sense, but it wasn't to the point where it was a concentrated effort by a whole team to cheat Major League Baseball. It was more of a personal choice as far as steroids go.
Yeah, it wasn't like let's all go in the locker room and just stick needles up our asses. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Like,
yeah. It's not like A-Rod went into 2009 and was like, I got to perform in the playoffs this year or I'm going to be screwed. Yeah. So let me shoot you up with some steroids so you can help my team out. Guys would have been like, yeah, no. Because that's the thing. That's the thing you gotta understand too. That a lot of people in Major League Baseball, yes, some of the players might have been willing to do it because they wanted to achieve a certain thing. But I think for a large amount of the players in Major League Baseball, even at that time, even in the steroid era, were like, no, I'm not doing that to my body. I'm not doing it. The hell is it? You know what I mean? What the hell are you shooting up? What the hell are you doing? Like, granted, they didn't say anything or whatever. It was just kind of like, all right, this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. It's like drugs. I worked in a restaurant business for a long time. It's like, yeah, people doing coke in the bathroom, people shooting up heroin. Do you say anything? No. You're going to rat out like an employee that's a friend of yours or whatever. You might talk to him on the side and be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? But if someone comes up to you at work and be like, "Yeah, you want to do this 8 ball with me?" No. Like not everyone is into that. So it's kind of when I think about this Astros thing too. It's like the fact that it's like a team effort, like from the management and everything. That's a problem. The steroid stuff was. It's not like Tony La Russa was sitting there with the 1988 and 1989 A's and being like, "Yeah, come here, McGuire. I'll shoot you up so you can hit more home runs. Come here, Canseco." You know what I mean? It was their choice. He made it look the other way. That's whatever it is. However you want to say, however you want to look at it, look the other way. And he didn't care.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's different than being involved and actively trying to cheat the game as an organization. That's a different thing. Totally different thing. And I think the Astros should have been, thinking about it more. I think the Astros should have gotten more draft picks taken away, and the international draft should have been handed more.
Then there's another argument too. It was like about like Fires. Like how come Mike Fires didn't come out sooner? Like with this, how come he didn't do it when he was on the team? Well, when you're on the team, you're not gonna go out and like rat your own team out. You're on the team. You're not. Then you're gonna be a part of like the kind of the guilty party. Like, so you don't do it when you're like that's the same thing. Like you say, you don't rat out somebody that's putting like shooting coke up in the bathroom or whatever. So it's like you're not gonna rat somebody out when you're not like a part of it. So that's why it's like so stupid. People are using that argument. How come it wasn't sooner? How come he's waited so long for it to come out and be the whatever the whistleblower? It's like, well, he wanted something to be done about it already, because like even like before, like there's all the way back since then, there were a bunch of players that were trying to go to the league office and like complaining about them cheating. Like they already were trying to make something happen. And they just didn't do anything about it. So it actually took someone being public with it for it to be anything to be done. It's like it's also how incompetent Manfred is. Like he heard all these players complaining and then didn't do anything about it until someone actually got public about it. It's like, is that how really it's gonna be? It's like, come on.
Yeah, because I heard that Fires went to the league earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know how much earlier, but he went to the league and complained about it. And if there were more players that have gone to the league beforehand, this is another thing that MLB has to look at. Because if there are a bunch of players that have gone to the league, I mean, even if it's a couple, Fires and like two other guys that went to the league in 2018, say, and said, these guys are cheating. These guys, you got to look at what they're doing. And they didn't do anything? What the hell are you doing, Manfred? Like, what is your job? Your job is to oversee Major League Baseball and to uphold the integrity of the game. So if people come to you and they have a concern about another organization cheating, that needs to be taken seriously. And if it's not, there's a problem. That's a huge problem. And I think Manfred took this way too lightly.
Huh.
Way too lightly. It's just bad. This is bad.
and just like what you said about like
There's gonna be an issue in a year and a half when the CBA comes up. Oh, there's gonna be some major issues here.
yeah. Just like what you said with Correa making it worse when he's talking, like Manfred made it even worse when he had his press conference today. The way he just everything he said was just like complete bullshit. To be honest, like saying that the trophy it's just metal. The trophy is just metal. Like that was the worst part. Like he's just making it even worse. Like now I'm waiting for Trevor Bauer's reaction to that because he made a video after his playoff thing, and then he got so mad about it. So he's probably gonna do something else after, like on Twitter at least, to react to this.
Oh, I'm sure. This is bad. It's very, very bad for baseball. I just don't know. I don't know. There'll always be fans. I'll always be a fan of the game. But this is disturbing. This whole thing is disturbing. It really is. Manfred needs to go.
Yeah.
I don't know who would take over for him or whatever, but
Honestly,
I wonder when his contract's up.
I don't know.
But
I honestly think Joe Torre would be a good replacement because he's like a step below him. So
he stepped down already. He stepped down from his position.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I don't think Torre.
I guess he's done then. He's not going to come.
He said, someone took over for Torre's position. I forget who it was. Yeah, he stepped down. Personally, I think he's probably just one, too old, and second of all, maybe he's sick of Manfred shit.
Yeah, probably. Oh dear, guys.
Torre's old school. Like he's,
These contracts through 2024. Oh shit, that's 4 more years. Oh. Yeah, they extended him after the 2018 season. Oh.
Yeah.
What the?
Well, I don't know. He's got to go.
I'm kind of wondering, what the hell do the owners think of this whole situation? Because they're the ones who are, they hire him. What do they think?
Yeah, I'm curious to, I haven't heard anything.
Oh.
As far as the thing. That's the thing. The owners don't say shit.
No.
Because they like the situation. It benefits them. This is why the MLBPA needs to fight for stuff. I mean, when Donald Fear was the leader of the MLBPA, dude, he Marvin Miller, they had some great leaders. It was like the best union in the world. It was the MLBPA. I mean, getting all guaranteed contracts. Where do you see? You never saw that anywhere. Everything was guaranteed, and even to this day, every contract is guaranteed, completely guaranteed. You don't see that in other sports. I mean, these guys did some great work, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2021. We may see a strike. We might not see baseball in 2022. Or there may be delay in the games and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's not looking good.
Ugh.
It's not looking good. Unless they can start figuring stuff out now. I mean, they really need to start negotiating this season and start talking about some stuff. We're 2 years away, 2 seasons away, but because the CBA ends December, I believe it's December 1st, 2021 is when the CBA ends. So once that ends, that's it. There's no agreement.
Yeah.
So we have this season and next season. I just don't know what's going to happen because, this is bad. This is bad for baseball.